Hi guys, this is Supernova TCG, and today we'll be reviewing the Monkey D Luffy Starter Deck ST08 to see if it's worth picking up and how the cards fit into the current metagame. First, let's take a look at the leader. Monkey D Luffy, Straw Hat Crew, 5000 power, 5 life. Your turn. When a character is KO'd, give up to 1 rested Dawn card to this leader. Like the other black leaders, Monkey D Luffy requires setup in order to trigger its effect. The strength of this leader comes from a playstyle that controls the board, which is exactly what black wants to do. If you can trigger this effect twice in your turn, your subsequent attacks with your leader can put a lot of pressure on your opponent attacking for 7k. The weakness of this leader comes from the difficulty to actually trigger it 2 or more times in a turn. Additionally, because you need rested Dawn, in order for this effect to go off, you're pigeonholed into spending your Dawn before attacking. This line of play can lead you to playing into triggers and your opponent's event cards. Now let's take a look at the super rares. Uda has 2 cost, 3000 power, type film, and has no counter. Her effect reads, this character cannot be KO'd in battle by leaders. Additionally, it has activate main, you may rest this character, give up to one of your opponent's characters, -2 cost during this turn. Uda is a ST05 Tashigi that costs 1 less, and cannot be KO'd by your opponent's leader. However, the fact that it doesn't have counter means it's less flexible. Uda can be played against Zoro as a body to contest a board, and her effect is relevant against later game decks, as well acts as a pseudo blocker. The fact that she doesn't have counter is very likely the deal breaker, as black already has a plethora of no counter characters. Next, let's take a look at Shanks. Shanks is a 9 cost, 10,000 power type red-haired pirate and has no counter. His effect is, on play, you may trash 1 card from your hand, KO all characters with a cost of 1 or less. Shanks is the biggest reason one should consider picking up this starter deck. At best, he is a 1 for 5 board wipe that has the potential to devastate an opponent's board. When combined with the Monkey D Luffy leader from this starter deck, his effect gives plus 5000 power to the leader, in addition to wiping the board. This is the pipe dream that all players playing Shanks want to accomplish. Coming back down to earth, although Shanks' effect is powerful, there are several key factors that limit it. On his own, Shanks only KOs 1 cost and below characters. This means his effect is only good against decks that play a lot of these characters, such as Zoro and Law. In order to be effective against other decks, his ability will need to be combined with cost-reducing effects that require no Dawn commitment. Cards such as ST05 Sengoku and OPO2 10 cost Kuzan. These factors will add inconsistency to decks that want to run Shanks. Inconsistency that is already prevalent in black decks due to the lack of search options. Additionally, because Shanks costs 9 Dawn, his effect may come into play too late against an opponent who is looking to deal the finishing blow to you during this stage of the game. Let's move on to the vanillas of the deck. Gaimon, Monkey D Luffy, Laboon, Monkey D Garb. Black has a plethora of mid-game options that make none of these very appealing. Additionally, all of these cards with the exception of Garp are not navy, making them unsearchable. Next, let's look at the comments. Huguma is 1 cost, 2000 power, type Mountain Bandits, with counter 1000. His effect is on play, give up to one of your opponent's characters -2 cost during this turn. Higuma is an OP02 Suru with 2000 power. As a trade-off, he has 1k counter instead of 2. Suru is a staple in majority of black decks. However, the main reason for this is due to her 2k counter. Although the 2000 power makes Higuma slightly more versatile than Suru, the counter of Suru makes it the superior card, making Higuma not likely to see play. Next up is Makino. Makino is 2 costs, 0 power, type Windmill Village with counter 2000. Her effect reads, on play, if there is a character with a cost of 0, draw 1 card. All 2k counters should be looked at with some consideration. However, the fact that this character has 0 power and her draw effect is conditional without netting you a +1 makes this card a pass. If her effect wasn't conditional, dug further into the deck, or netted you a +1, this could be considered. Now we have the honorary Straw Hat Vivi. Nefertari Vivi is 3 cost, 1000 power, type Alabasta with counter 1000. She's a blocker with trigger. Play this card. Some blacklists are already playing 2 cost blockers as a tech to the metagame. Vivi costs 1 more with the added benefit of being able to be played out of life for free. However, playing this card for 3 Dawn will typically not be a winning play. It will only be there just to block 1 attack. Her 1k stat line is also susceptible to almost every kind of removal in the game. Next, we have Shirahoshi. Shirahoshi is 4 cost, 0 power, type Merfolk with counter 1000. She is a blocker with the effect, on play, give up to one of your opponent's characters -4 during this turn. Shirahoshi has a powerful on-play effect that combos very nicely with many black characters. In addition, she is a blocker. That being said, for 4 Dawn, black decks should typically be looking to be aggressive during this stage of the game, due to their powerful mid-game strategy. The fact that she has 0 power and will likely never be able to attack makes it likely that she will not see play. Now let's look at Kobe. Kobe is 4 cost, 1000 power, type Navy with counter 1000. His effect reads, activate main, you may rest his character, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less. Kobe deals with a character for free, then acts as a pseudo blocker, which is good against aggressive strategies. However, similar to Shirahoshi, the lack of power for a 4 Dawn card makes this less ideal. Current builds of black are focused around strong mid-game strategies. In a slower, more controlling deck, this could see the limelight, but the lack of power still might make players consider other options. Our last character is Mr. 2. Mr. 2 Bon Cure, aka Bonchan, is 5 cost, 6000 power, type Former Baroque Works with no counter. His effect is Dawn X1. At the end of a battle in which this character battles your opponent's character, you may KO the opponent's character you battled with. If you do, KO this character. Mr. 2 has the unique effect of KOing characters of greater cost without the need of cost-reducing effects that black cards typically need. Mr. 2 is competing with some very strong options that black cards already have to offer. The weakness of Mr. 2 comes from the fact that he doesn't give you tempo like other black cards in this slot do. That, coupled with the fact that he isn't Navy or CP, will be the reason this card doesn't see play. Lastly, let's move on to the events. Gum Gum Bell is a 2-cost event with the effect Main. You may add 1 card from the top of your life cards to your hand. Give up to one of your opponent's characters -7 cost during this turn. And Trigger. Add up to 1 black character card with a cost of 2 or less from your trash to your hand. Firstly, the trigger of this card is not very relevant to the current builds of black, as they run very few 1 to 2 cost characters. Next, when taking a look at the main effect of this card, it does seem strong at a glance. -7 brings every character in the game in range of black's removal. Removals such as OP02 Kobe and OP03 Kaku. This is at the cost of 1 life. However, the life card does go to your hand, essentially drawing you a card. The current playstyle of black needs to maintain a healthy life total throughout the game. For this reason, the cost of losing 1 life to play Gum Gum Bell is likely too costly. The last card is Gum Gum Pistol. Gum Gum Pistol is 3 cost with the effect Main. KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less. And Trigger. Draw 1 card. There are several black triggers that draw cards, however they are mainly not played due to the main effects not being flexible enough and possibly dead cards. Gum Gum Pistol is no exception. Black already has removal in the form of characters that generate tempo. For this reason, this card is a pass. Overall, this starter deck doesn't seem to fit into Black's current strategies. Even Shanks requires the Black decks to change up how they are currently being built, for better or for worse. The fact that all the cards in the deck don't share a common type is likely one of the biggest reasons most of these cards won't see play. Even if Black doesn't have much search to begin with, the power level of these cards are not on par with what Black is already doing. That being said, thank you for watching. This has been Supernova TCG.